I'm Evan. Welcome to the Only Empty Hands channel. Today I'm going to be starting to teach you a kata called Limbo, and I'm going to put it in two places. So this is in the health and wellness section, and this video is going to be in the playlist called Discovering Your Chi. And then the rest of the kata, as I teach you the other pieces of it, is actually going to be in its own playlist in the section where you can come and learn this entire form. So what I'm going to do with it, instead of focusing on the self-defense aspects that exist within the kata, this is a very traditional, maybe not super practical self-defense kata. There are movements in it that can be practical, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But I want to focus on using it to connect with your breath, to develop your internal energy, that kind of thing. So what we'll do, excuse me, is I'm going to do it a few times in a few different ways. And the first piece of it, we're going to go through, we're just going to talk about the movements themselves. So you can use that until you memorize the movement. Because any meditative form, until you actually can do it without thinking about it, you're not going to do so well at using it for meditation, right? You've got to make it yours, make it part of you where you can do it without thinking. Once you progress past that, the next thing is your structure. And so I'm going to talk about that. How is your body supposed to be? How is it supposed to move? Are you violating principles of motion where you're over a year is going to mess up your shoulders or those kinds of things? Are you off balance, right? None of that would be in line with developing your internal energy or finding peace. Once you've got those two pieces of it down, then we're going to talk about breathing, because breathing is the foundation of connecting with your internal energy. And then finally, I'll talk to you a little bit about feeling energy and what you can do. So this obviously is something you're going to have to use multiple times, but I'll go through this piece of the form I'm going to do for you, talking about it in each one of those ways, and then obviously that will also help you with being able to memorize it. So what we do when we're starting for the kata Limbo, I'm going to do this without salutation. So we're going to move our feet into what I call kind of a modified horse stance. So about shoulder width apart, want your feet pointed straight ahead, right? Toes connected to the ground, balls of your feet connected, arches should be lifted, right? Good foot posture, those kinds of things. Slight bend in your knees, just kind of relaxing. And then obviously our body kind of folds together like an accordion a little bit. So if my knees go out, my butt's going to go back a little bit. The arch that's naturally there in my back will bring my stomach forward slightly. I'm going to pull in on my abdominal muscles, and then I'm going to straighten, pull my shoulder blades down, bring my head up, bring my chin in a little bit. So I'm just straightening out my body so that everything can flow evenly through the body as I'm doing this, okay? So find that posture, learn to feel it, work on it. So first thing that we're going to do is our hands are going to come, both hands come straight out in front of us, palms out. And then I want you to think as if you're swimming, and you're just going to move your hands, slight stretch out to the side, but basically just where it's comfortable. Bring them down, draw them up in front of you, and I'm going to go to the left here. I'm going to turn my hips and upper body to the left with my hands crossed, lower the hands down, fingers open and extended, push down, circle around, push down in front. And then I'm going to come out in front of me, left hand with a ridge hand pushing out about throat level, right hand in a spearing position pushing out solar plexus level. Those hands are going to grab, and then I'm going to draw in with my hands, bring up my right knee, put it down, bring up my left knee, put it down. Okay, so let's go to there again. So again, I want you to find that position, okay? Feet pointing, tracking straight ahead, right? Arches lifted. The whole portion of your feet, the ball of your whole foot, connected with the ground. Toes spread nice and evenly. Weight distributed. Slight bend in the ankles to the knees. Your butt, diaphragm. Bring in the stomach a little bit. Even the chest. Shoulder blades should drop in back. Chin comes in just slightly. Lift through the top of your head. Okay? So we're going to come out. Now as you do this, I want you to feel if your shoulder blades are locked forward as you come out, you're going to start to hit resistance here. You're going to feel popping in tension. You're going to mess up your shoulders over time. Pull your shoulder blades back down, Open your shoulders so they have maximum freedom to move. Open and bring your hands out to the side. And you're going to draw up in front of you. You should feel no popping or tension in your shoulders as you do this. Draw up to about throat level, keeping that good, slightly bent posture. Just relax, straightening out through the ceiling. Turn to the left. Let your hands flow down. Open them all the way out to the side. Bring them up. Again, keep those shoulder blades back so there's no popping. Come push down in front like you're setting your hands on a table. Notice I'm going up and down slightly, never locking my knees, never over bending as I'm doing these movements. So we're here on the table. Left hand is going to push out with the edge of the hand. Right hand coming out with the spear. Grab, pull in, right knee up and down, left knee up and down. Okay? So now let's connect that with our breath a little bit. So find that posture. Another thing in Tai Chi, they talk about feeling like you're extended from hanging by a string that runs down, like through your spine, kind of nice, lets everything hang. As you learn this stuff, it's kind of, you're basically being talked to at opposite ends of the spectrum. So just as much as we're hanging from the ceiling, we want to also be rooted and pushing up from the ground. And those two sensations, eventually you want to throw them away and just be in the proper position, but they'll help you kind of feel and get yourself in the zone for where you should be. So again, find that stance. This time we're going to bring our breath in with it. There's multiple ways you can breathe with this kata. I'm going to try to connect an inhale and an exhale, each with their own movement, and then we'll do it one more time talking about a different way to breathe. Doesn't matter as long as you're flowing and connected. So again, we're going to come out. I'm going to inhale as I'm opening my hands and swimming through. Once I get to about right here, I'm going to exhale as I bring the hands down and in. Inhale as I'm pulling up to my throat. Turn to the side, exhale, let the breath flow out, following your hands down. Back to the front. Inhale as your hands come down to the tabletop. Exhale as the left pushes out with its edge and the right with the spear. Inhale, grab, pull to the knee. Put your foot down, and then you can exhale as you pull up the other knee. So, depending on how you breathe, if you just watch for a moment here, so that was an example where basically I paired an inhale or an exhale with each phase of movement that I was talking about. So that can make the kata go pretty slow. The more you control your breath, the more you are breathing slowly and everything, it's going to slow the movements down a lot, which is great. That helps you with patience, just with feeling the flow and the connectedness, good deep breaths and everything, and then moving with the breath. It's a great way to do this form. Some days I want to move a little faster, and so then what I'll do is I'll do inhale and exhale with each movement. So that could look like so it doesn't really matter, right, as far as it goes. There's no right or wrong way that you have to do that. What matters is that you're completely filling your lungs, that you're expanding, like I say, even through your back. Your breath should expand your back and everything. It matters that you're doing that stuff. And you can play with how you do the kata and don't get all wrapped up in which way you're doing it. You're going to find a flow that works for you and a speed that works for you, or some days, depending on your mood, you'll want a different speed. It's all totally fine. This is just about you connecting with your breath and learning to let movement flow instead of being choppy. Now, the last piece that I want to talk to is a little bit of this trying to feel your internal energy. And I'd advise you to be very careful. There's a lot of stuff out there that I really feel like is very much teaching you to imagine sensations and everything. And that's not in line with meditation, right? We're not supposed to be activating our mind and making stuff up. We're supposed to be emptying our mind and finding peace. So this is much more about you becoming aware of these sensations that are going on within you, and then heightening them through learning to focus and feel them. It's not about you imagining that you have some power that's tingly or some, ball of energy or light. Those can be helpful, but you got to be careful, or else they become a dead-end road, because really all you're doing is over-connecting with your mind. So, letting go of our mind, focus on your breath. If you want to focus on something, focus on your breath until you get to the point where you're like, oh, wow, I feel this interesting sensation of energy going on with me. That's a much better way, in my opinion and in my experience, to learn to connect with your chi, okay? But what we're going to do, so we're doing the breathing properly that we talked about, but this kata, I really like this opening part of it because it flows very well with feeling and drawing energy in different places. So as you're breathing, or once you move past breathing, you've got the kata down, your structure's right, don't have to really think about the breathing to be doing it properly. Now, as you come out, feel yourself pulling, like from your body, energy coming out through your feet. That's there, all that balance, all those pieces of your body that are coordinated together, everything that's around you. Feel your hands flowing through it. This motion here, drawing up from the earth, right? Feeling that power that comes up that you're connected to there. And then let it come up through your body and then cascade like a wave that crashes over down into these hands. And you notice as you do that, like your body will actually, you can flow even more. So now I'm doing even more movement with my body than what I was as I was teaching it to you in those other ways, right? So it becomes a really beautiful and powerful sensation that you're flowing through. So it's kind of hard to explain, so I'll just do it one last time for you here. Alright, so hope you're enjoying learning this form. So if you're watching this in the Discover Your Chi section or playlist of the Health and Wellness section, I'm going to have a link on here where you can jump down to the rest of the kata. It's still going to be in the Health and Wellness section. It's just going to be, you'll have to move obviously down to your right if you're looking at a computer screen, and you'll find it there. It's called Limbo, is the kata. And I'm going to take it and we'll do the whole kata but broken into pieces like I just did this part of it. Again, if you have questions, ask them, comment, like, dislike if that's how you feel. Hopefully you're enjoying this stuff. And if you are enjoying it, subscribe to the channel. So I hope you have a great day.